Yeah, like, okay, so the last 60 years we've cut down thousands of forests. Well, maybe not chain yourself to a fucking tree and go out and plant some trees.
Yeah,
there's an idea.
Which I know that Pornhub was doing something. P-Hub was doing something for the long. Don't ask me how I know this.
You know because you know, and don't you fucking lie to me, you dirty little man.
That would suck. And welcome to the Article 1776 podcast. I am Matthew Kicklighter, co-host. This is
Scott Still 87.
Right. So instead of the regular conversations that make us stray away from God, further wanting more to not talk with us, and angels and aliens and all that good jazz, we're just here bullshitting today.
What are you talking about? Angels and aliens?
Aliens. And,
do you remember that?
Kylie, do you really think that the shit that we talk upon here, do you really think that they're wanting to get closer and closer to talk to us?
So here's my standpoint on it. Well, let's touch this subject because apparently aliens exist now.
Yeah.
I don't believe in aliens. Like, I mean, I know there's illegal aliens in the world.
That's another story for another time.
That's another spicy subject. Yeah. I don't think like extraterrestrials exist, but if they do, I hope that they hear this and they're smart enough to stay the fuck away from us.
Yeah.
Because humans suck. Like, there's good humans, but like for the most part, a lot of human race sucks.
Yeah, I would say in total, overall.
Yeah, like a lot of the human race sucks. A majority nowadays, more so nowadays than like 50 years ago. So like humanity sucks, and we destroy everything we don't understand or know anything about. Mm-hmm. So if they are smart enough to be on any kind of higher plane of existence, stay the fuck away.
Yeah.
Because if you have a planet, we're probably just going to fuck that one up too. 700 years. So that's my standpoint. But I mean, if it is possible, that's great. I just want to go to space. Like,
that's how high.
I can't.
That's how high he wants to get.
I mean, am I in space? Oh shit! Stars.
Snoop Dogg. Willie.
Snoop Dogg is my pilot.
Willie Nelson.
Willie's the co-pilot, but he's not really doing much except rolling joints.
Yeah. That's how high you're getting in space.
There's an episode of Rick and Morty where they're like, Grandpa, we got high and played video games. It was horrible. He's like, no, you guys did fucking amazing. He's like, fuck your parents. Smoke. He goes, fuck your parents. Get high and play video games. That's awesome.
Remember getting high and seeing Looney Tunes in real life.
Yeah.
Good old times.
College. I knew thee well. So today, like, I wanted to pull away from the whole
the Constitution.
I wanted to pull away from the whole Constitution thing. Something that's kind of been bugging me, and it's been bugging the shit out of me the last couple of weeks because it's all I'm hearing about is, so we're supposed to have like the most powerful standing military the world has ever known. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's great and all. China outnumbers us a little bit as far as like overall population and manpower. and the fact that like if you're basically Chinese, you kind of have to be in the military almost.
Mhm.
Or you're a doctor or a lawyer or some architect, something like that. But like, so they have, I think the numbers I saw were 1.2 million active personnel and growing, obviously, because like it's like Rabbit Fest over there. So they're like they may not be as technologically advanced, but like they're still getting up there. North Korea has like 1 million almost. No, I don't know about 1 million. I might be wrong on that.
Question.
Let me find out. Let me find these out.
Well, question. How many are they? I don't think as tech they can be tech savvy, but
no, they're nowhere near technologically advanced.
But what about no, I mean China overall. What about tactical savvy?
Well, so the PLA has their own version of like their Marine Corps. And then they have their, their Space Force, if you will, and they have their Navy. Tactically wise, I don't know. Like, not really much is known. Like, we don't really, as far as I've been aware for the last 20 years or so, we haven't really had much of a relationship with China's military. So there's no like joint tactics training going on between like U.S. forces and China. Like, that's basically all we have to go on is like what snippets of like media that we get out of the PLA.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of them motherfuckers are Bruce Lee anyway. So I feel like they got to be pretty badass at some things. I do not think our military right now is capable of fighting China, Russia, and North Korea, which kind of are like our three biggest. Well, Iran is in there too, but they're kind of dodgy with it. We want nuclear weapons, but whatever. So those are our three biggest threats right now. I don't think that with our military being as spread out as it is, I think it would be a very big logistics nightmare getting everybody back stateside if something were to pop off over here. However, this is something that I have to warn. We'll say certain factions over. You may have like a larger standing military by numbers, but the United States has the absolute largest standing militia of any other country in the world, and second to none. Like, there are more guns than there are people in this country. And there's more ammo than there is guns in this country.
That's what I mean, is that how far tactically advanced are China and such places. There are some, and I've seen it in some YouTube videos. I don't know if the people are a military background or what they do, are police officers, but I've seen a couple of Asian ladies do Asian ladies do like a couple of shotgun runs. Like, I think I've seen one with the Benelli M4.
Like, I'm not saying that I don't want to like disparage the PLA, because every army is deadly in its own right. So I don't want to disparage their training or anything, but I think it can be a problem. I wholly believe, especially like, I think we discussed like their military buildup in the South China Sea, where they were basically building islands out of nothing and putting airstrips on them. And these are strategic locations. So there's a whole number of factors that can play there.
Yeah, you can't sleep on them. You can't sleep on them.
No, not at all. I think that China, obviously more than Russia, because they're just basically throwing fuel to the funeral pyre at this point with Ukraine. I I think China is gearing up for something because they know that if they help Russia in any way, we're going to be knocking on the door.
Uh-huh.
Because we're Team America, World Police. Fuck yeah.
You ever notice how? You ever notice how we enter wars kind of late to where, but we know as soon as we're like daddy's, it's a daddy's home situation.
Well, I mean, we fuck. So, not disparaging any Marine, soldier, sailor, or airman, but our government dropped the ball with Afghanistan. Our government dropped the ball with Iraq.
100%, like 100%. Yeah, like no shit. I know some buddies, and I felt their time or two. I talked to some buddies that felt that were the whole entire 20 plus years of what we went through was absolutely for nothing. And here's the thing, and gone within a matter of a couple of days. Oh, because one president, and fight me in the comments if I saying this, one president was bowing out to a tyrant, like being a tyrant and bowing out to a terrorist organization.
Yeah, you know that even Biden said back when Obama was in that getting out of Iraq and Afghanistan was going to be difficult.
Yeah, I think
it would not be done overnight.
Yeah,
and they did it overnight.
Yeah, it's like literally.
And what happened?
Like literally, he said it was going to take probably a couple of years at most to fully back out of Afghanistan, and then look what happens.
Yeah, I mean, so strike me if I'm wrong. I'm not. I know things. I'm not a military expert by any means. Mm-hmm. Okay, like I haven't spent 40 years studying military BS. As a citizen, though, I think that our military is not capable of handling that by themselves. Mm-hmm. As stretched as we are across the world, we are the only country in the world that has embassies and bases on almost every fucking continent in the world. We're the only military that has that. With the amount of personnel that can be at any one of these bases at any given time, we here back in the States are at a military disadvantage. We are at a militia advantage because we have a bunch of, well-trained former military, not ex, sorry. We have a shit ton of former military. We have a shit ton of, good old boys. And we got a shit ton of people all across this country that have guns and ammo and have the ability and means to use it. But this is an issue. I think I can wholeheartedly say that China is gearing up for like the next major conflict that they want. Mm-hmm. That like everybody knows that China wants to throw over the U.S. as like the dominant country. Right now, the yen is almost. I think it's the yen. I don't know what they use anymore, but it's closely getting ready to overtake the U.S. dollar as like the dominant currency through the world.
And here's the thing: I will to kind of add on to it. You hear what's happening on TikTok, right?
So the only thing I know about TikTok is right now that the owner has gone before Congress to talk about some security concerns that they have. That's all I know. I don't know any details on it, so go ahead and fill me in.
So basically, what it is that they're trying to, I guess, I don't want to say the president because I could be wrong. They're trying to ban TikTok.
Go for it.
TikTok in the United States, which, and here's I'll come to this point. So with what China does temporarily is that, they push certain algorithm to the United States as to where it's completely different from their home base, China. Mm-hmm. They'll push the educational side in their area, China, but push all the girls that are twerking in their thongs, all this like anime waifu type of shit, over to the United States. And I think that maybe angry cops and some other aren't like psyops army.
Yeah.
Better explain it than what I can. That has to do. I think that has a tremendous toll of the psyche of the military, because it's no longer a war. It's more along the lines of ill will and all that shit. Like.
Yeah, we have military generals more concerned about wokeism, bullshit, white rage than we do worrying about, like, countries that really hate our government, and because they hate our government, they hate the military, the United States, the people of the United States. Like, I have no problem with fucking China.
Yeah.
Like, I have no problem with any goddamn Chinese person. Like, I see Asian people all the fucking time where I work. It's okay. Like, I have no fucking problem with that. Like, there's no ill will other than the fact that you might have a lot of groceries. But there's no ill will. I don't care. Like, the people of the United States don't give a fuck really about what you're doing in China.
Yeah.
The one thing that I know that we care about, and like we care about the most, is the fact that everything is made in China. It's not made in America, which, we have factories that are crumbling and, going into disarray. The United States manufacturing, pillar is basically, gone. We outsource everything and we import everything else that we can't outsource.
And I want to differentiate this right now. There are some people that utilize TikTok as much as like YouTube to kind of get away from the stressors in the world. That's fine. You do that. You could fucking do, but you cannot sit here and tell me that if you look back and don't notice how a certain type of algorithm is being pushed over to the United States and not notice it. You can't tell me that. It's literal bullshit. I've seen it myself.
Yeah, it's a bunch of fucking spoiled brats who have never worked a day in their life, chicks twerking, people who are race baiting and shit, and pedophiles. I said it.
Yeah.
Fuck you, TikTok. TikTok is one of the worst things that's ever happened. TikTok is right up there behind the internet with like the worst things to happen to humanity.
Well, I will say this. I think that more pedophiles are more found along the lines of Roblox, the game, too.
Yeah, no, I've actually heard that.
Yeah, Roblox.
It's just, if you think about it, like, the human race was not like it is today before we had the internet. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but everything after like everything after like the 1900s kind of started to suck.
Well, I would push it a little bit further more to like.
I was trying to be nice.
I would say like 1960s or 70s.
No.
Well, because you got to think too, because during that time it was more of it was pushing up towards, we were still working, like kind of working class Americans, all up around throughout the Korean War, and then once it get up to like the 80s and then up into the 90s, even way more prevalent now, there are areas to where single motherhood, people just trying to depend upon the government for
90 years ago. That didn't happen.
Yeah, but didn't necessarily happen around like World War II era.
No, like what I'm trying to say is, look at it as a series of events. We had the Industrial Revolution and greenhouse gases went up.
Yeah.
Okay. Since the Industrial Revolution, the quality of life has gone down, regardless of like what you can, buy and purchase and ascertain and stuff like that. You're fucking up the ozone layer. You can't sit here and tell me that global warming isn't a thing. I had people who were 80 years old telling me, I've lived here my entire life. We used to get 6 feet of snow. This year, we didn't get shit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, like, all those greenhouse gases that we've produced from the beginning of the production era till now has obviously affected something, because we're almost out of fucking icebergs. We're almost out of fucking polar caps. South of Antarctica is the biggest fucking snow drift ever. And so you have that. Plus, you've had basically, while there is a plethora and abundance of knowledge on the internet, the human race is going down as far as like overall intellect.
I will say,
Because we're stuck on the internet all the
I
time.
will say
I'm
this.
sorry.
I will say this.
Fight me in the comments.
I will say this. As much as I agree with the global warming, how much of the protesting or how much of the fires were started by a person that was purposely intending to light the thing on up because they have a sick mind. There's that question too, because you can't necessarily. I've seen it.
Well, it falls to the fact that we're horrible.
Yeah, there's a couple of instances. I think one in California. I think it was California or Texas, to where law enforcement officers caught a dude that was trying to light a fire through a forest, like a small little forest, and protested saying that it was global warming. So it's like there's that too. I don't know if drugs were into play, but I don't
put it past them.
Yeah, so it's like they're I get it.
It's Texas, by the way.
People are trying to protest against global warming, so there are some certain ones that would make it look really, really bad.
Yeah, protesting about global warming isn't going to stop global warming. Take up all that time and energy you spend protesting and actually dedicate it to a science that could stop or, help avert global warming. Yeah. Then you've got a reason for being. But if you're just standing out there super gluing yourself to the freeway and chaining yourself to trees and buildings and shit, just to make, light of the plight of some other entity, come on, do something more productive.
Yeah, here's the thing too, and I've seen it done a couple of times to where one of the great idea of people that created, like, I think it's like a box or a frame with a net inside. I'm not sure, but it's like robotical to where, like, if a wave of water comes on in from the ocean, then it will catch the trash that is flowing alongside with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen that done a couple of times, and that's a great thing to show that it's instead of just talking about it, fucking do it.
Yeah, like, okay, so the last 60 years we've cut down thousands of forests. Well, maybe not chain yourself to a fucking tree and go out and plant some trees.
Yeah,
there's an idea.
Which I know that Pornhub was doing something. P-Hub was doing something for don't ask me how I know this.
Because and don't you fucking lie to me, you dirty little man.
So P-Hub was doing this thing to where it's like every 1,000.
Lie to you. He knows because he knows.
Every video that got 1,000 views or something like that, they planted a tree.
Your audio cut, bro.
Oh, hold on.
Or did my headset die?
Yeah, your headset died. Audio issues, folks. Audio issues.
My headset died. Didn't even let me know it was dying. Where's the fucking hole?
Technological issues, folks. This happens.
There we go.
Better?
I'll give it a second. Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me? I'll edit this part out.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, there you go.
All right. So what I was saying, welcome back. I'll edit this part out. So what I was saying is that I think was 1,000 a video that got 1,000 views or more. So they would plant a tree. I forgot how I saw a meme for it. Like the whole entire earth was covered in trees. Like,
yeah, that's a good way to plant trees. Yeah, but you'd be doing it for years. You'd have to I think you'd run out of space.
Yeah.
We planted so many trees we can't even walk.
I think we'd be brain dead by then and be like, meh.
Too much oxygen.
Yeah. All the blood rushed down somewhere else, brother.
It's not global warming that killed us. It's fixing global warming killed us. But there's there's cool things happening as it comes to like the whole climate thing.
Yeah.
Porsche. So
Hold on, before you get to the next point, I really want to drive this point home. There are a couple of parties that would disagree with one another and then fight against one another. Literally,
all of them.
Yeah. So it's like, but meanwhile, a person like myself and you are just sitting in the back. It's like, why can't one another say like, this is a good idea. This is something that I don't necessarily agree with, but I'll take that idea because I kind of like it. And then on the other side is like, yo, that's a good idea too. It's like, okay, so global warming. There are some people that are on the right that have ideas about global warming, and there's some people on the left about ideas about global warming and fixing things. At some point, rather than just having a name attached to a person saying that Republican or this and that, look at the idea first and be like, yo, okay, this is something that could possibly work. I could see how this is beneficiary to us in general. That's my little spiel, my little partake.
So now I'm a car guy. I watch Donut Media. There may be people who know what Donut Media is.
Show that to Donut Operator.
Not Donut Operator.
Oh, okay, well, I was wrong.
Donut Media.
Okay.
Their car channel and stuff. Well, there's a guy named Zach Job. He's an engineer. He went to the farthest point in South America, Buenos. I don't remember. Fuck it. Anyway, Porsche is working on a new type of fuel that's basically water. Okay. They are bringing in carbon from the air that's emitted like just everyday life and just CO2 basically. Mm-hmm. They're pulling CO2 into these giant air ducts and through a series of heated filters and, shit like that. They're basically separating the carbon and the water. Mm-hmm. And they're basically repurposing it into fuel. And the emissions are zero. Because it's basically just taking carbon again and turning it into a hydrocarbon to make fuel. Mm-hmm. Which is basically what gasoline is right now. It's a hydrocarbon. It's carbon mixed with hydrogen and oxygen. Mm-hmm. So they're basically making that into water, which is like gasoline. And when you look at it compared to like a vial of gasoline, it looks just like regular drinking water. Yeah. Looks just like regular drinking water, but as far as the video shows, when they were smelling it, it smells just like gasoline.
My question is that where is there, if there's any ethanol that comes into play or no?
I don't think so. I will brush up on that a little bit, but basically Porsche's new e-fuel right now, there's not a big way to synthesize it just yet. Mm-hmm. It's still in the learning processes, but it works. Like they took a Porsche Cayenne mm-hmm. or a Panamera, whatever it was, and they put, however many liters that they use out there, and they drove around throughout the mountains and stuff like that, and the car sounded just like it would if it was on regular gasoline. The car acted just like it would if it was on regular gasoline. And that is something that I think that people could be putting their time and their money into.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Teslas are cool. I don't want an electric car. Like, I like driving. I like racing. I like the sound of a motor. If we could come up with a fuel that could be made cheaply, but still it's basically fucking water. and hydrocarbons and stuff like that. So, like, if we could make a fuel that acts just like gasoline cheaply and still be able to keep our gasoline cars with zero emissions, it would replace the entire fucking electric industry, which causes more fucking damage to the environment than actually, you know, one regular fucking 3-ton gas guzzler.
Elon Musk, if you're watching this, chances are possibly, I don't know. Next thing you know, he comments and said, "That's a good idea."
Right? Invest in the Porsche Z Fuel and stop mining cobalt for your batteries.
I will say this: have you seen the Harley electric Harley Davidson bikes?
Don't you fucking talk blasphemy to me.
Oh no, no, I'm just saying, I think it's they look kind of cool. You're not a fan of it?
This podcast is now over. Yeah,
I see
there's things you shouldn't fuck with.
Rocky.
The Goonies.
Rocky was one of them too.
Yeah, Rocky should have fucked with it. The Goonies, don't fuck with it. Harley Davidsons, what the fuck?
Yeah. Some of them look okay. I get it, you know, the fuel emissions and all that stuff.
Yeah, till your battery dies.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how the whole charging station is, but I've been a fan of Harley for quite a bit. I'm one of those people now to where I'm kind of skeptic about it, like, especially on a motorcycle. Like, I gotta look up on the test results for that, because I don't know. I've been drinking quite a bit, but guys, which I'll make 2 points with this. Just the other day, there was an accident where I live, right off of here. Basically, bike versus car, and the car kind of won, even though that there was the bags went out and stuff. So, needless to say, someone applied to turn a passerby applied to turn a kit on the dude, the motorcyclist, and I possibly saved his life. So, guys, train up on that stuff. Be aware of any situations where that might possibly happen.
Yep.
But
keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, exactly. So, but what would happen if the electric Harley Davidson bike kind of goes on out in a dire situation to where you really need to make that really defensive drive and the battery just goes out?
Yeah, that's just something that, I mean, yeah, you run the risk of running out of gas. I mean, but there's gas stations everywhere. There's not a lot of charge. I mean, there's more charging stations now. There's charging stations in the middle of nowhere out here now. It's crazy.
Yeah, which is a good and bad thing, you know.
Yeah, but you still run the better risk of not being able to hit a charging station. Not every truck stop or gas station along any given interstate is going to have a charging station just conveniently everywhere you go. So
yeah, and I think this gets up and sets up for. And I'll say this, Scottsdale, you're a great dad, and great parent to little ones. But I think that a lot of what's going on is today's society. You said it before. Parents aren't really in tune with their kids' lives, and which then is leading this transition of a weaker kind of mindset. Yeah,
no, I definitely agree. Think back to, I'll give you 2 points. Think back to D-Day. You had 18, 17, 16-year-old boys storming the beaches of Normandy just trying to fucking take care of this fucking Nazi rebellion, or not Nazi bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Guadalcanal.
Then, exactly. Then go up to the 1960s, 1950s, old, B-reels of high school gym,
Mm-hmm.
All those dudes were fucking cut, and they were physical as fuck, like Greek Adonises, all athletic and shit. And then now you've got well, if you're watching this, I don't need to explain to you what we have.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the fuck happened? What are you doing? Go to the fucking gym. Oh, you go to the fucking gym.
I got liquor near me, so I can't waste good liquor. But go to the gym.
Yeah, no, I do too. It's right there.
So I can't be like take a swig of Crown Royal and be like, I know. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Crown Royal. They're not sponsored.
Just take a swig just because you can.
Yeah, I'll take a swig, but I'm not gonna spit that shit out. That's expensive. But no, it's literally the mindset. For kids, it's basically monkey see, monkey do. The situations that if you know you do something wrong, especially as a parent, good chances are that that child can project that bad trait 10 times more.
Oh God, I hope not.
So it's like,
otherwise I'm fucked.
We're not all perfect. It just I've heard it said in the Caitlin Bennett episode, which is people get so tired of her sometimes, but I can see the points of a father. The mother is good for, like the caring, the loving, and all that stuff. A father, I'll give you a prime example. A father is one of the first dude to show you how you should be treated as a person overall. If you're a man or man or a lady, especially a lady as well, because unless you're lesbian or like bi or whatever. But if you take for instance, if you're a straight female, a father is the one that is supposed to project how a man is truly supposed to treat
you.
Exactly. Uh-huh. So that's one of the important roles of a father. That, and if for like a little boy, say like if a person likes the little like a little girl, or a little girl kind of likes the said little gentleman, and asks the father what is he supposed to do. One of those rare types of things.
Yeah, no, it's anybody can be a dad, is what I've learned from my time in Florida. Anybody can be a dad.
Yeah.
But actually being a father is a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
I have 2 stepsons and a little girl myself. And the one thing I always want my boys to know is that, I'm here for them.
Yeah.
I take my son hiking. I take him camping. My other son play games. We go to movies together and shit. Like, I take my daughter to look. When my daughter gets back, I'm taking her to there's a shop here in downtown. Like I said, a little town. There's a store downtown where basically they'll give her like a little like Sunday ball dress, kind of like old Southern style dress and whatnot. It's a little tea party shop.
She's gonna be like a little ring bearer for the wedding.
She's a flower girl, but I'm taking her to go have a fucking fancy tea party in like 2 weeks.
There you go.
So
yeah,
but you gotta show your kids how they deserve to be treated, so they can understand their value as a human being.
Yeah. It goes the same way to a father is supposed to show his kids that you don't do abusive relationships. The same thing goes with the mother too, because a female can be just as abusive as a male too. So that's right. I fucking said it. Fight me in the comments. But
a lot of fighting going on tonight.
Yeah, fucking fight me. No, but it's the truth. That's the role of a father as well as a mother too, is to go to show the kids how they are supposed to be treated as individuals. Unless you don't want kids, would you do you? I joined the military for a lot of different reasons, but one of them being that I wanted to make sure that my children did not or were not around the same type of environment or world at the time that I was a part of. That was one of my thoughts, because
That was one of my biggest thoughts when I tried to enlist. Well, when I enlisted, shit happens and I'm out.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah,
that was the biggest thing.
a little funny story to that. You know what the Crucible is. You've heard about the Crucible, right?
Yeah.
So Camp Lejeune, I didn't think it was Camp Lejeune. I went to for my unit, but I went to boot camp over in Parris Island, South Carolina. Parris Island, I didn't think was that small or that big. Like kind of like in between diameter wise. So during
area wise, yeah.
So during our little hike back to the ceremony to get our EGA and do the Warriors breakfast, it was like probably 5:00 in, I don't know, 4:00 in the morning. But we were sleeping in this little cabin, like all of our whole entire platoon slept in this little.
You got to sleep?
Yeah, like for like only a couple of hours. We had our boots off and everything.
Whoa, sexy time.
Close. But the lights were off. The drill instructor came on into the room, said, "Get up, like everyone, get on up." Reveille, like really loud. So the guy that slept next to me wore a size 9 boot.
You and your fucking boot stories.
So no, he grabbed my boot by accident. Then I had to grab his left boot, which I thought was mine at first. But then when we started the hike back, I really, really felt that it wasn't my boot, because I wear a size 15 in shoes.
You wear a size 15? You fucking Neanderthal.
I wear a size 15. This dude.
No wonder you always wear slides.
This dude had a size 9. He grabbed my boot. I grabbed his.
How did you? How? Oh my god, that's like, how did you stuff that in there?
I just forced it. Like,
did you spit on it?
Like literally, yeah, I did, because when the DI says that you have to go, motherfucker, you go.
No, I know. Like, no, I know that part.
So by the time that we got to the little open field to receive our EGA, part of me was crying because I received the EGA finally. Then part of me was crying because my foot hurt so fucking bad, and I had to go to sick bay just in order to, like after that.
Your shoe was 5 sizes too small. Yeah. It's like, I hear the Grinch narration in the back of my mind when you say that shit. His shoe size was 5 times too small.
Do you know? Okay, so Scottsdale, do you know the size? Do you know what company hasn't lowered its size in the love of freedom? I really dug in for that one.
You are, man. What is up with you?
I'm trying to work in.
5 of them have been like.
Yeah, I've been trying to work in proper zingers, and I'm gonna have to work in the transition some more.
Oh, man, I love you, but that's not.
Do you know the name of the company that would not downsize their love for freedom?
I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah, Article 1776, bud.
Article 1776, and so
this is my favorite part of the podcast.
Working in, it's the transition. So I want to say thank you all so much for watching, listening. Leave a like. Redo. Leave a like.
Back it up.
Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you like our content and want to see more of it and want to tell us, like what you think we should do next, Scottsdale.
Subscriber, I'll find you.
Scottsdale, give him your socials, your shits, your things.
You can't have my stuff.
Your thing. Yeah, okay.
You can't have my stuff. These are my things.
That
Fine.
308 looks
Scott
lovely
still
in the back.
30. What the fuck? I don't have a 308 yet. I don't have a 308 yet.
I don't know.
It's a 556.
Oh,
That's the 556. I'm building a 458.
Oh, yeah, that's
All
right.
I have is the lower.
that's right. Give them your stuff, your socials.
Scottsdale87, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, that's
And
it.
we may or may not.
You can find us.
We may or may not be going to Kick as well, so we'll let you know.
Yeah.
That's another. That's another story for another time.
That might be a tomorrow thing.
Possibly.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
You can find.
But yeah, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Scottsdale87.
All right. So you can find the link to all my socials in the description below. Guys, we want to say thank you so much for joining in on this podcast. We love you, and freedom to fuck on.
Fuck off.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I love you guys. Bye.